Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining me again. It's day 69 of Take a Journey with Me. So we're going to talk about Mary and Martha, Martha and Mary, however you would like to say it today. In preparation for today, I paid attention to some details that I had not really paid attention to in the past with studying the Bible. That's the beauty of the Bible. You glean something from it different every time, really, if you really dig into it. So 2 points that I'll mention below, but I wanted to explain in advance that caught my attention. Some people call them Mary and Martha, or Martha and Mary, just simply that. Others will say Mary of Bethany and Martha, or the Bethany sisters. So you'll hear that in my speaking a little bit later, so you'll know where that's coming from. So there's passages in the Bible about Mary and Martha, which are spread out within the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Some are only about one or the other, Mary or Martha, and some are about both of them. I've always loved learning how the Gospels explain things differently. Some people today have used biblical differences as discrepancies in the Bible. Instead, they are all different people. They say things from their own perspective and vantage point. And sometimes Jesus spoke with one or the other individually about different subject matters, giving different manners of explanation to each one on the same subject matter to maybe how they would see it. He would speak to them in that way. Many times, I believe in our own lives, this can be true as well. We all come to conversations and life experiences from different cultures, life experiences, as well different times in our lives where we see things differently and are mature enough to see it differently, where the same subject matter may affect each of us differently and at different times again in our lives. So the main passages I'm going to kind of give you in advance and then tell you a little bit before. Um, there's for Mary of Bethany, there's Matthew 26, Mark 14, Luke 6 and 10, and John 11 and 12. From Martha, three of the same: Mark 14, which is actually verses 1 through 11, Luke 10, the same, is 10:38 to 42, and John 11 is 1 and 43 and 12 and 11, or 1 through 11, excuse me. So a little bit of differences, but very similar, and it's beautiful to look at comparisons of the four Gospels for these stories. So Mary and Martha were sisters. As well, they were close friends of Jesus. Their brother was Lazarus. They lived in Bethany. That's why Mary of Bethany are the Bethany sisters. And this is near Jerusalem in a small village. The two main stories with these sisters were located at their home in Bethany. The well-known controversy between these sisters is when Jesus when Jesus came to their home to teach. Mary wanted only to sit at Jesus' feet and listen to his every word. However, Martha, she was offended by Mary's non-actions, really, um, because she was all about taking care of things around the house. Martha's reactions are as she did not feel that it was fair, her doing all the work and Mary not helping her. Jesus said to Martha that Mary, her sister, was doing the correct thing. Jesus' response has a twofold meaning, however, that spirituality trumped material concerns, but also that women disciples should be treated on as equally as men. So a lot of people, and in today's society, well, a little bit more in the 100 years ago or 60 years ago, um, but believe the woman's place is doing nothing but work in the home and the man's place is doing the Bible, and the controversies around that as well. But Jesus said that Mary had every right to be there. And that was hard if maybe their culture wasn't used to that. And there's a lot of things that Jesus did to give women respect that other people had not done so before, the culture had not done. And you can see this particular story in the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. And continuing in that passage, is neither sister was necessarily wrong in their actions, really. Mary was constant in her longing to learn more about Jesus. And Martha was concerned about making everything just right for his visits, because of her utmost respect for him, admiration and love for him. Martha begged Jesus to ask Mary to help out so the practical things could get done. Jesus recognized that her work was for him, but he also reminded her that she was permitting her outward activities to hinder her spirituality. A lot of thoughts to ponder in that. Another story about these two sisters is regarding their brother Lazarus. That can be seen in John chapter 11, verses 17 to 33. You can read how these Bethany sisters sent out word to Jesus that their brother was dying. In their eyes and thoughts, Jesus did not come soon enough. He's always on time, though, isn't he? When Jesus arrived, they had already placed Lazarus in the tomb. Not knowing the full reasoning behind the time of his actual arrival to their home, Martha shared her unhappiness with these actions and delay in getting there in time for their brother. Shared them to Jesus, actually. Yes, again, Martha was the most outspoken of the two. Mary instead was crying profusely over her and their brother's passing. We can read in this passage in John 11 where Jesus rose Lazarus from the dead. There was another opportunity for a meal at their home with Jesus and this similar setting, but this was directly after Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. This time, however, Martha did not complain because of Jesus. She had realized that she and Mary had important duties individually for Jesus. Mary was always eager to learn more of Jesus and his ministry. And in John chapter 12, verse 3, we read, Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume, and she poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. It is most likely that Mary did not know what was about to happen to Jesus on the cross, but her actions led him to know these two events would be connected, the anointing of his feet as though a preparation for his burial. That's pretty intense to me. And you can see this incident or this beautiful passage also in Matthew 26 and Mark 14. And as well Luke 7. Apologies. So to me, the lives and examples regarding Mary and Martha are not unlike that of siblings today, marriages today, and those close relationships in our lives today. One may be more emotional and curious, and the other more rational and serious. I like to know how Jesus approached them both. I like how he approached them both and helped them both understand these dynamics more about themselves and one another. Expecting another to feel or react the same to every situation in life the same is not practical at all. We must be patient with one another in life. One could simply be having a bad day or a hard time in their life. Another could be in a rush and not taking the time to truly listen to the other. Many dynamics in our lives, right? We each have days and times in our lives which are good and others which are bad. We should understand when those around us are having such days or times in their lives. Of course, this is much easier said than done. We are in this flesh. But being mindful of this pattern and practicing it is definitely helpful, like building a muscle. So go to God in guidance and discernment for how we should best react and handle our situations in life. Deep breaths and putting ourselves in the other's shoes. It may sound cliche, but these are true blue aids for living in harmony. Do you ever react? Are you so in the moment that you're not seeing the needs of those around you? Do you forget how the other is feeling when talking to them? Many times we will act rashly and judge situations at hand wrongly. I know I have, unfortunately, and I feel bad that I have, and I am sure I'm not alone in this. It's great lessons about Mary and Martha, and I really admire them. And they saw how they were different. They respected it for one another as well for Jesus and his ministry. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have such a blessed day. Take care. God bless. Bye bye.